Okay, good morning, everybody. By my watch, it is just about 10 o'clock, and that means we are ready to get started with our chair mobility and meditation class. If you are watching this video later, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, whatever is most appropriate for you. But if you're here tuning in live with me for this morning class, then yeah, big good morning. It's looking like we got a pretty nice day outside today, so this is a good way to start our day, to get warmed up, to get loose, and to get focused and appreciative and grateful for what's going on in our life, what's going on in our body, and to prime ourselves for the day. Hopefully, you would tune in with me last time on a chair mobility and meditation class or with Carl's recent class. But I'm going to save a lot of the talking up front and try to spare you some of that. If you need to go back and hear a little bit of the theoretical 5 minute or so intro I gave last time, you're more than welcome to scroll back down the quality of life page to go and check that out. But just as a basic reminder of what we're trying to do today, we're trying to be adaptable and flexible with our movements and our exercises so that we could get a good workout this morning. So I'm going to take you through some basic chair-based mobility exercises. Eventually, we'll start standing up. And when I introduce these exercises to you, the biggest thing is for you to be mindful of what's happening for you in the movement. Where's the tightness? Where's the comfortability? Where's the strength going on in that movement for you? And what particular variation of that movement is working best for you? And I'll give you some cues along the way. We want this to be an energizing and relaxing experience at the same time, is what I would say. We're not looking for pain. A lot of times in workout culture and stuff, there's this sort of driving into intensity and pain. Sometimes that's right to push yourself on an exercise, but for this particular class and approach, we're trying to be energized and relaxed here and do things that feel good and right for us. So, throughout our movements, mindfulness is the key. And a good way of doing that is to pay attention, for me, to two things: what's going on with your breathing, and to bring your awareness back to smiling through some of those movements and exercises. So, good, steady breathing. Go back to that last video we put out from me if you want a little basic idea on good, proper breathing. Really trying to breathe into and expand the stomach on the in-breath, and then let the stomach relax and fall back down on the out-breath. The basic format for this class, we'll do a little basic stretching just to get warmed up here in the morning and start to ramp up the heart rate and hopefully get a little bit of a sweat going from the chair. Then we'll do that Tabata style workout that we're fans of here, which is basically a 2-to-1 work to rest ratio. And that's a good format for any kind of exercise you're going to do in your day-to-day life. 20 seconds of work, 10 seconds of rest, or 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. That's the form we'll be doing. And then you could sort of scale up from there depending on the exercise and the activity. Last thing I would say, remembering to drink water throughout, staying hydrated, staying comfortable, deep breaths, good smile, an energizing, relaxing workout is what we're looking for. And if you're at home saying to yourself, I need to ramp up my exercise regimen, Mike, I'm feeling strong. These 12 days of Healthmas have been great for me. Grab yourself a couple little bottles of water, grab yourself some cans, grab yourself some bags of rice, and use those as weighted implements for you as you're going through these exercises, and I'll suggest to you where we can do that. So by my notes, I think we're ready to go. Oh, after the Tabata, we finished, of course, with a meditation experience. I'm going to introduce to you something a little bit different today, something like a mantra meditation, a repetition of a word or a phrase that might be useful for you throughout your day. So that's the basic structure. I'm looking to get warmed up, so let's start with some basic stretching. We're going to bring our awareness and our attention down to our lower body first and work up through. Last time we worked from the head down. Let's switch it up. Start from the lower body up. So I just want you to gently, let me move back slightly. I just want you to gently point your leg out, your ankle, and just start doing a nice, gentle ankle roll, trying to trace a big circle with your big toe. Moving slowly and gently with your right ankle through that movement. Just a little bit off the floor. Getting the ankles warmed up, nice and happy. And why don't you reverse direction on whatever way you were going with your ankle circle. Let's go the opposite way. Remembering our good posture, everybody, throughout. And as we're going through this, mindful of what's happening in our body and with our breath. Good. Let's switch legs here. Pointing our left leg out, just gently, wherever it could get to at this point in the workout. And doing a nice ankle circle. Down here, whichever direction you want to go in first. Gentle, working through that range of motion. Going at your speed on these. I can't always see you guys out there on these Facebook Live videos, so make sure you're going at your own pace. If I look very fast to you, take it slower. That's fine. But good circle with the ankle. And good, let's reverse directions and go the other way. Remembering that good posture throughout all these exercises that we talked about last week. Sitting upright and alert. Good stable core. Good. Pause there. Continuing to breathe deeply in through our nose, allowing our stomach to expand on the in-breath as we're going through a lot of these movements, staying focused and relaxed at the same time. And now we're going to bring the whole leg a little bit more into those ankle rolls. Now I would like you to stick out your foot out like we do on a good leg extension that we practiced before. Checking out our posture, sticking our leg out. I want you to roll that ankle from side to side. I'll point to the front in a moment, but we want our toe pointing up to the ceiling and trying to roll our leg over into the range of motion that it could reach right now. So good posture from the side, leg out, rolling that leg over, moving from the ankle. So just to show you from the front. Leg out, and we're just pointing over to the right side, over to the left, over to the right, over to the left. Which way is more tight? Are you okay with external rotation? And maybe that internal rotation's a little bit tighter. That seems pretty common for me. And this is a good way to get that whole leg starting to get loosened up and warm. Good. Put that right leg down, over to the left leg. Good posture, leg extension, toe pointing up. Doing some windshield wipers with our feet. Nice and slow and gentle, wherever you could get to at this point. Good pause on that, good breathing, good posture, good smile, good mindfulness throughout these movements. Next, we're going to move up through our body. That did a lot of good for warming up my legs. I hope your legs are feeling warmer up. We're going to move a little bit more into the midsection. Last time we did a hug and twist with me. This time we're going to point out. My hands are flat together, palms facing in together. We're going to point out and we're going to track our hands around to the left. All of that stretch coming from the torso. We don't want to crank ourselves. We don't want to compensate by moving from the legs. Our legs and posture are still very much facing forward, and we're turning and twisting to where we can from the midsection, holding our arms with good posture, not rounding our shoulders forward. The movement should come from the torso, and we don't want to compensate with movement from other places as we're getting warmed up. Good, return to center, and always in between, you can just do a little shakeout, get the shoulders moving, whatever helps you feel comfortable, and get back to a good reset between the movements. Let's put our hands out in front, and this time we'll go around to our right. Same thing, my feet are flat on the floor, legs still very much facing forward, the movement coming from the torso. And you're just holding out here nice and confident, breathing strong, feeling a gentle stretch. Hold that stretch just a moment longer. Good, wonderful. And then return to center. Good posture. You know the cues, guys. Start to hold those on your own. I'll try to say them a little bit less as we go, but I also love to remind people what we're trying to focus on. Next up, we're going to keep moving up through our body, and this time we're going to do some side bends. So just to show you, nothing special. You could stay in your chair. I'm going to put my hands up above and have my palms facing in optimally. If you need to have your palms facing out, that's fine. Or again, wherever your hands end up top that you could reach to for now if reaching overhead is a problem. But if you can get your hands to here, that's where we're going to want to be. We should be in our chair though. I just want you to be able to see the top of me. So we'll go overhead. Sorry, let me just get in a good position, good posture. I was forgetting there for a moment. Good posture, front of my chair. Reaching up overhead and a gentle bend to the side. So same thing on that other movement. We don't want to compensate the movement from our legs or by losing good posture. You might feel tempted to lean forward. We want to have good posture, still very much sitting upright, reaching up and through to the side. Just a gentle stretch, going to where you can, breathing comfortably throughout the movement. The exhale is a good time to get a little bit deeper into the stretch. Good, and then return to center and let your arms fall gently to the side. Again, you could always do a little shoulder roll out, shake out in between to get comfortable. Now we'll go to the left side on that shoulder bend. So reaching up overhead or side bend. Good posture, feet flat on the floor. Reaching up through the body, staying nice and tall. Core staying strong, posture staying good, breathing is comfortable. Gentle stretch you should be feeling through the side over here. Again, I think the temptation for a lot of people on this is to lean forward. We don't want to do that. Keeping good upright posture even as we're going over to the side. Good. Return to center. Wonderful. Okay. Now we're going to move up finally to our neck and just get that neck loosened up. I'm going to move back slightly. Get that neck loosened up. We're just going to look to our side and hold that, and then we'll do a few slow reps with that. So let's just look over our left shoulder. Same principle here, guys. Good posture, feet on the floor, chest up, shoulders not slumped. Always returning to that idea. And then we're just going to look comfortably to our left, not cranking from our shoulders, movements coming from our neck, getting to where we could get to at this point in the workout. Same principle, guys. The exhale, good time to push a little bit further into that stretch, but only insofar as it's comfortable. No pain on this, no cranking the movement from any other part of the body. Just a gentle stretch in our neck. And good, return to center. And now let's look over our right shoulder. Good. And then return to facing forward. That is the end of our warm-up. We work from the ankles up through the top of our body. That's a great way to start off your morning. Maybe you like to work out in the afternoon, but if you wake up in the morning, it takes you a while to get going, drinking all sorts of coffee, whatever it is, maybe adding in a simple breathing warm-up stretch, would be a great way to begin your day. I know that when I start off with this program with you guys, that I need to just drink way less coffee in the morning. The coffee is much more powerful and much more effective when I have a nice breathing workout along with it. So adding in some basic stretching to your morning routine might be very helpful for getting your day going. We're going to move into the next section of our workout, however, which is starting our seated tabata. So we're staying seated for 2 rounds. We're going to do 5 sets of exercises, and we're going to alternate 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. I'll give you the cues and the guidance throughout and the movement we're doing. You try to give me good work for that 40 seconds and good rest for 20 seconds. Teach your body to rest. Go from the good, vigorous participation in the work as best you can, and then really allow yourself to calm down for that 20 seconds. You're teaching your body to relax. And then when you're out there in the world and you have 40 seconds of a lot of stress in the store, at work, whatever it might be, on a Zoom call, you can then take your 20 seconds of relaxation time to get your mind again. So that's part of the reason this Tabata mixed with this mindfulness works so well. But we're going to have some basic exercises. We're going to do seated jumping jacks. So we'll just be going up ahead, reaching up overhead, little clap if we can, good posture, you know the basics. We're going to do seated leg kicks, okay? And we'll alternate on that. So good squeeze at the top, toe pointing up to the sky. Seated leg kicks, sorry. Then we'll be alternating overhead punches. These will be very good for with a water bottle if you have it. Then we will do leaning back flutter kicks, and I'll give you the option of doing some bicycle kicks on that if you'd like. And then we're going to finish with our rows. Another good exercise for the water bottles. Can be upright. We'll alternate punches on this, or alternate rows on this too. So we'll do right side, left side. We're going to go right side, left side up here. Those are the basic exercises. I'll talk you through those. We've got jumping jacks, leg kicks, alternating overhead, flutter kicks, alternating rows. I'll talk you through those. You know the basics, guys. Good, about 5 minutes of work, breathing, posture. You know what to do. So we'll get started with our seated jumping jacks. Just a gentle, good clap overhead. And we'll begin in 3, 2, 1. Good posture. If you're still waiting to get a little warmed up, maybe that warm up didn't fully get you going, then just move through this slowly. This first round of seated Tabata will be still part of you getting warmed up and feeling ready to really work. We got seated jumping jacks, guys, for 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. Now you get 20 seconds to rest. I tell you the next exercise. We're going to do seated alternating leg extensions. That's nice and slow. Good squeeze in the quad, stretching the hamstring, stretching the calf, toe pointing up to the sky. Let's start with the right leg in 3, 2, 1, and we're alternating throughout. So good squeeze up top, and we go to our left leg. Toe pointing up to the sky. Good squeeze, stretching the hamstring, stretching the calf if you're feeling that, hopefully. If that still feels like you need a lot of stretching, then move slowly on this exercise. Hold that there for a few seconds until it's feeling good for you. We got 10 more seconds on these leg extensions, guys. And we're moving to alternating overhead press. 3, 2, 1. We take a break. You guys got 20 seconds. We're moving to alternating overhead press. Same setup, good posture, feet flat on the floor, arms out to the side, and we'll be reaching up overhead. We'll be alternating on this, reaching up overhead and alternating, and we'll begin that work in 3, 2, 1. Big smiles, good breathing, guys. You're doing wonderful. What a gift to give yourself to start off your Saturday, to start off your new year, to just have your body feeling good and warmed up for the day. And we'll pause on those presses in 3, 2, 1. Good work, guys. You could always hold those water bottles throughout if it feels good just to be holding on to something. Good for the wrists, good for the fingers, good for any tension you might be feeling there. We're going to move into flutter kicks. You could stay facing the way you are. I'm going to lean back slightly. I like to grab on the side of my chair for a little postural support. But if you're feeling really strong in your core and can hold out there, that's great as well. But now we're just going to do flutter kicks. Okay, so I'll stay to the side so you can see me. You got a good sense of how to do that movement. And we'll start in 3, 2, 1. Good posture, guys. This is not a reason to slouch. If you need to use the back of the chair a little bit for some support, that's fine with me. But I'm personally feeling my core very engaged right now. And that's what we're looking for as part of this movement. And we'll pause in 3, 2, 1. I'm going to face back to the front. Last exercise in our first round of seated tabata are horizontal rows. So I'm going to grab my little additional weights here again. As I'm working out through with these guys, I'm really feeling them in my hands. I'm using them to add some, just a little bit of mindfulness to the workout. They might be light weights, but they allow your mind to engage your muscles a little bit more deeply. And we're doing alternating horizontal rows. So let's all start up here. Good posture, as always, guys. Arms out in front. We'll leave them out in front, holding that weight nice and strong out in front if you got it. And we'll just alternate rowing backwards. And we'll start together in 3, 2, 1. And we'll pause on these horizontal rows in 3, 2, 1. Good, guys. That's our first round of seated tabata. We've got another round coming up on which you can push the intensity a little bit. But I invite you just to take some deep, calming, mindful breaths. If you were with us last time, you know how to do some of that breath work. Introduce a little bit of it in between sets, in between reps, that you could pull your mind back to focus on your breathing. And also, always a good time to take a drink of water. Excellent, guys. I know I've got a little sweat going. The heart rate has picked up. My body's feeling engaged. So now we could really focus on all those good cues all throughout these next 5 minutes. Really focus in these next 5 minutes on the posture, on the breathing, on the big smile, and on the good movement. And staying attentive to those and feeling those as good and energizing and relaxing for your body. So let's drop right into it. We have seated jumping jacks. You know the cues, guys, and we'll begin in 3, 2, 1. If you're feeling warmed up and you like to give this a little bit more speed, a little bit more energy into it, you're certainly welcome to do that as it feels comfortable to you, but not in a way that jeopardizes our posture and our good breath. And we'll pause in 3, 2, 1. Excellent, guys. 20 seconds of rest. Next, we're moving into those single alternating leg kicks. Good squeeze in the quad, good stretch in the hamstring, calf, toe pointing up to the sky, working on ankle mobility and flexibility throughout these movements. And we'll begin in 3, 2, 1. And we'll take a rest in 3, 2, 1. Good job, guys. Next, we're moving into alternating overhead press, alternating overhead punches. Good posture, locking our shoulders down even more. You should feel some good tightness and core strength in your lats as we're going through this, and that's where the strength of the movement comes from. We'll begin overhead presses in 3, 2, 1, and we're alternating. Great workout there, everybody. Great way to start your day, start your Saturday, start your new year, or whenever you're tuning in on this. What a gift you've given yourself for these past 30 minutes or so. We got 15 or 20 minutes left together, but we'll pause on these overhead presses in 3, 2, 1. Good. Getting some breath, some deep breathing in. We're going to move to our flutter kicks. If you want to work in something a little bit tougher of a variation, you could do more of a bicycle kick, which is sort of like an alternating flutter kick, where right leg comes out, left leg comes out. You're doing like you're working on a bicycle. But if fluttering is all you want to do right now, that's fine with me. That bicycle kick is definitely one of the more challenging exercises I incorporate in these classes. So if you're not there yet, that's fine. But let's move into our flutter kicks together in 3, 2, 1. I'm going to move to the bicycle kicks just to show you though how those are looking if you want. And we'll work on this for 3, 2, 1, and take a pause. I'm turning back to the front, and we have our horizontal rows. As with last week, a little adaptation. If your posture's feeling good, back, upper body's feeling warm, and you want to add a little bend over at the waist, still with good posture, as part of our rows, you're more than welcome to do that. That's a good way to add a little bit more difficulty, a little more challenge to this exercise. But we'll start with our horizontal rows, alternating in 3, 2, 1. If you want to stay up here, that's fine with me, but if you're looking for a good visual reminder on what a slight bend over looks like, still doing that alternating, but good posture. To bend over does not mean we lose our posture. My upper back is still tight. My core is still braced. My glutes are still supporting me in this chair. We can pay attention to really our entire body in most, I would say, all of these movements. We start with good focus on where the movement is really coming from, our upper back in this case. But then as I'm falling into a good rhythm with that, I'm saying, what's going on with my feet? Are my glutes still engaged and tight? Do my hips feel weird right now? And why might that be? And always mindful of what's going on. And we'll bring our second set of seated tabata to a close in 3, 2, 1. Great work, guys. That is our second set of seated tabata. Let's take a few deep breaths together. Bring that mindfulness and that relaxation back. Just breathing deeply in through your nose, allowing your stomach to expand on the in-breath. Holding that breath for a moment, and then calmly exhaling out of your mouth. Excellent job, guys. Maybe a sip of water is a good reminder right now. Good reminder to smile. This is enjoyable. This is a gift you're giving to yourself. Try to keep that mindset throughout. And like last week, we're going to practice a little bit of that transition to our standing exercises. So we're going to just do sit to stand. So I'm really emphasizing good posture as I'm sitting here now. I'm not even really using the back. If you need to use the back at times, that's of course fine, but we still want good posture as we're sitting in this chair. We're not using it to slouch or to just relax. But to get into that squat to stand, I'm going to sit towards the edge of my chair. Good hip placement, feet flat on the floor. The movement's coming from my hips and my glutes. I like to reach out front just to remind myself that that movement is coming from my legs. We're just going to practice getting up and out of the chair for about a minute. Go at your own pace. Take a break if you need to. And we'll just start that together right now. So just practicing a movement we might be doing throughout the day and trying to bring some good mindfulness, some good posture, some good breathing to it. If you need to take a little break down at the bottom, hold on, good posture, breathe deeply, and then get back into it when you can. I was tuning into Carl last week, and he was encouraging us, or a few days ago rather, he was encouraging us to try different feet placements. Bring your feet in a little bit closer if you're feeling confident with the sit to stand. Maybe you get a little farther, work those external hip flexors a little bit more on this. But the point is, this is trying to get us into good patterns with how we get into and out of a chair, and we'll finish on the upstroke right now. Let me adjust my camera ever so slightly. And now we're going to be standing, and we're going to do our standing Tabata movements. Similar setup to as on the seated ones, 40 seconds of work, 20 seconds of rest. 5 exercises. We're going to get marches in. Last time, if you were with me, we did seated marches, knee coming up nice and high, opposite arm coming up, good movement through the shoulder, good posture and core throughout, staying upright and engaged throughout. So we're going to do marches. Then we're going to turn that into something like an isometric hold. So we're going to do our balance work now a little bit earlier in the set. We're going to do our balance work with an isometric hold, 20 seconds on each side. I'll give you the timing on that. Wherever your foot can get to is fine. If it's just off the floor today, that's okay. If you could get it to 90-90, that'd be great as well. Then we're going to do alternating overhead punches, pulling an exercise from the seated movements we were doing before, and I'll talk you through those. Then we're going to use our chair, and we're going to do some single leg curls. So 20 seconds, and I'll show you this from the side, might be good. Okay, just a leg curl with the hamstring. Holding there for a second, good squeeze, back down, good posture, using the chair for balance as we need it. And then we'll finish off, guys, with some jumping jacks overhead. So I'll talk you through those, give you some cues. We'll start into our standing set of Tabata with some good marches, beginning, as I get myself ready, beginning in 3. And if you need to use the chair as we're going and just want to lift your legs up, if it's too much balance work to be totally off the chair, you could certainly just do leg marches holding onto the chair or use the chair in front of you. Chair is here for balance as you need it. I'll leave that to you, what you're capable of doing today. But we'll start off with marches beginning in 3, 2, 1. Good breath, good posture, guys. Good smile. And we'll pause in 3, 2, 1. 20 seconds of rest, guys. Next, we're just going to move into some balance work. Use the chair, as I've said, as you need it. If you need 2 hands on it, need to stand behind it, that's fine. If you could get to 1 hand on it, that's progression. If you could have that hand off, but that chair close, that's even more progression. If you could be away from it, that's sort of what we're looking for. We're just going to do 20 seconds of isometric balance holds. We all need to work on our balance, work on our good rhythm as we're stepping, and these holds here are good for increasing that mobility and flexibility. So just to show you from the side, the goal is to get to 90-90, good 90-degree angles in my leg and down through my ankle, all through the hip, everything. But if just off the floor is all you could get to, that's fine as well. But let's start off with 20 seconds of our foot off the floor, beginning in 3, 2, 1. We'll get 20 seconds in, and then we'll switch over to the other side. Remember, using that chair as you need it. If you're looking to add even more difficulty, if this is pretty good for you, closing your eyes is actually another way to make this a little bit more difficult. But let's switch over to our left foot up in the air. Always can reach out to that chair for balance. Good 90-90. 90 degrees here, 90 degrees at the knee, 90 degrees at the ankle. That's the optimal position for us today. But wherever you could get to is good for you. We'll hold in 3, 2, 1. I lost it there a little early, but that's fine. I'm gentle and compassionate with myself. Next up, we have alternating overhead presses. Same thing as on the seated movement. Now we're standing. I like to have my feet pretty close together on this, but we want a good posture, good solid foundation beneath the overhead pressing that's going on. Solid through our feet, up through our glutes and our hips, up through our core. Then we got the overhead press going, pressing up overhead in 3, 2, 1, and we're alternating. I'm hitting my roof a little bit, so I'm going to pull this movement short, and we'll adjust the environment after the class. Good work, everybody. Breathing deeply. And we'll pause in 3, 2, 1. Excellent work, guys. Next up, we have leg curls. So what my hope here is, and we'll bring this to hopefully its full expression in the next class, is to work on a little bit of that walking gait to get our hip and our leg and our ankle more used to being up in the air so we could step nice and confidently and then walk through. So I'm trying to break down some of that walking mechanics to a few of the basic movements to strengthen the different parts of that walk. So on this, we're just going to do some leg curls. Okay, so good posture, and my right leg, I'm standing with the chair to my right so that the balance, the leg that's coming up is going to be on the inside, and we'll do a leg curl starting in 3, 2, 1. Good posture. We're going to switch halfway through this movement. Just a good squeeze in the back and your hamstring. And we'll switch up to the left side in 3, 2, 1. So come into the other side of your chair. Move it however you feel like adjusting your space. And now we're just getting good leg curl on the left side. And we'll pause on that in 3, 2, 1. Excellent work, guys, and that's our set of standing tabata, which brings us to just about 45 minutes or so into our time together. We probably had about 40 minutes of exercise, which is great to lead into our meditation experience. So you start to bring your breathing down a little bit, start to relax, sit back in your chair, maintaining a good posture, still engaged and energized by the workout, but we'll transition into our meditation period. Good time to take a drink of water. And we're going to try something of a different meditation experience, another option for a contemplative or mindfulness practice. Last time we did a breathing focused meditation, and that's really, in my understanding, the basic in all the great mindfulness and meditation practices that we've received from all the great traditions around the world. Starting with focusing on your breath. It's the thing we're always doing, and learning how to exist happily and joyfully with our breath is one of the great central practices, like I said, that we've received. But there are other versions to do, other versions of mindfulness, meditation, contemplation that we could practice. What I find is always having that breath work as a tool in your back pocket. If you get distracted, if a particular contemplation is not working for you, you could always just bring your awareness back to that gentle, rhythmic breathing that we practiced last time. So if you need an introduction to that, I invite you to go back and look back at the video last time. From me, I talked a little bit through the breathing work. The keys are to breathe into your stomach, to allow your stomach to expand on the in-breath. And I'll keep saying that throughout. And you'll discover exactly sort of what that means for you and what good diaphragm breathing is for you as you go. But we're going to do something together called a mantra meditation. Or that's one of many names for it. The mantra practice sort of comes out of Eastern experience, the repetition of a word or a phrase as part of our mindfulness or meditation practice. Very common. We even use it colloquially in our language. Oh, what's your mantra today? Or what's your mantra this year? And you might have your own mantra going into the new year. But really, the origins of that practice is the sacred repetition of a word as part of our meditation. In the West, we also have corollaries to this. Christian monks would practice what was called Lectio Divina, the very close, holy, sacred, rhythmic attention to a particular word or phrase out of the sacred scriptures. And certainly there are examples of that in the Islamic and Jewish traditions as well, the Talmudic tradition from our Jewish brothers and sisters. Great attention to focus on use of a word or a phrase to ground ourselves in the day. So I'm going to do a poem reading. And so what we'll do is a little basic breathing meditation I'll talk you through. Then I'm going to read a poem from, he's an Iranian poet, an Islamic poet, Persian poet, Rumi. And he is very popular in the U.S., translated often by Coleman Bark. And he has a beautiful poem called The Guest House, which is a really great introduction to meditation in a lot of ways and to what mindfulness can really do for us. So we'll do some breathing. I'll read the poem to you, and I want you to listen for a word or phrase that grabs your heart or that grabs your mind, and then I'd invite you to gently repeat that word or phrase to yourself rhythmically with your breath, whatever rhythm makes sense to you, and we'll use that to let any other thoughts or distractions float away. And then I'll read the poem once more to bring our meditation period to a conclusion, and we'll do that for 10, 15 minutes or so. Okay? That sounds good to me. Good breath. Poem read, focus on a word or phrase, conclude with the poem. If it's not working for you, you could just do your basic breathing meditation. But we'll begin with our feet flat on the floor. As always, we want to be sitting upright and alert. You could have your palms resting on your legs, gently in your lap. If closing your eyes is comfortable, I find that a good position. But if you like to keep your eyes open, I would just invite you to look at a point somewhere just a few feet in front of you on the floor. That'll allow any distractions, any visual distractions to stay away from us a bit. And we can begin by simply becoming aware of our breathing. Taking a deep breath in through our nose. Allowing the stomach to expand on the in-breath. Holding that breath for a moment. and breathing calmly out of your mouth. Breathing in peace and calm and relaxation. Breathing out fear, worry, and anxiety. You continue breathing deeply for a few moments. I'm going to place the text of the poem in our chat here. And if you like to read along with that, that's a great way to do this meditation as well. But you guys keep breathing in through your nose. Okay, so that poem is posted there. If you want to follow along with the text, you're more than welcome to. And so our mantra meditation today, our deep reading, is from Rumi. It's a poem called The Guest House. And as I read this, listen for a word or a phrase that grabs your heart. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. So hopefully you heard a word or phrase that grabs your heart or your mind. And now for a few minutes on your own, gently repeat that word or phrase in a good rhythm with your breath, and allow any other distractions or worries to float away. Continuing to breathe in deeply through your nose, allowing your stomach to expand on the in-breath, and gently breathing out of your mouth. Using that word or phrase that grabbed your heart and mind as an anchor, as a rock, as a source of stability and strength. For the remainder of your day, you could always return to this word or phrase as a source of peace or comfort, challenge. Whatever that word or phrase is saying to your heart or to your mind, you can carry that with you and chew on it. Let it speak to you throughout the week, throughout the month. Whatever works. So continuing to repeat that word or phrase gently to yourself, or just focusing on your breath. If this sort of contemplation is working for you, focusing on a word or phrase, a good step to do is to ask yourself, ask your heart, why that word or phrase is speaking to you. And to meditate on that. And as I said before, to carry it with you. It could work as a source of strength or peace or comfort, as a rock, a mantra, whatever you need from this word or phrase throughout the week. But to bring our meditation to a close, I'll read that poem one more time. And it's a good poem about meditation, about what meditation is like. Again, this is The Guest House by Rumi and translated by Coleman Barks. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all. Even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still, treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice. Meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whomever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. My heart really goes when I read that poem today to from beyond, those final two words. And for me, I just feel so much constriction these days. We're inside, we're behind masks, understandably so, importantly so. But our whole world seems like it's constricted in a conception of itself, in a way we have of interacting and behaving with each other, with the environment. And I've just felt the call and the beckon to a beyond, to a new way of conceiving of my reality. And that's what this poem invites me to today, both in my own heart, but in our social life together, in our communal life. And so I wish you joy and peace as we begin our new year together. I'll be back on at Tuesday night to bring our 12 days of Healthmas to a close at 6 p.m., I believe. Hope I'm getting that right. But we got workouts for the next few days, and we got a great backlog now, guys, of workouts you could follow through. I'm trying to introduce some progression through, so if you're liking these chair mobility and meditation classes, you could certainly take my 3 as a good model for a progression through some of these movements and activities. But I hope you have a great and wonderful day. If you happen to be in Fairfield County, I will be going to jump in freezing cold water at Calf Pasture Beach at noon. It's been a great, energizing, invigorating experience for me recently, and I'm doing 1 jump every day in January. So I hope to see you back with quality of life. I hope you have a wonderful day. Peace and joy to you. Take care.